TV show Scout of the Past. Hello, I'm Sharunas and you're watching Scout of the Past. Today, I'm in Kyiv, the heart of Ukraine, standing in Maidan Square. This is the first day of my journey into the forbidden Chernobyl Exclusion Zone. I won't be traveling alone. My companion who will help me film and tell the story is Gytis.
Hello.
What can you tell us about our journey?
It's 33 degrees Celsius right now, so it looks like we're in for some hot weather.
A hot spell is forecast. This will be a particularly difficult journey for us because we'll have to cover 100 kilometers on foot. It's 45 kilometers to the center of the Chernobyl zone and 50 kilometers back. Throughout the entire trip, we'll be filming to show you the secrets of the Chernobyl zone, former military installations, and tell you all about the zone in general. Right now, we're in the center of Kyiv, in Maidan Square. In a few hours, we have to meet with Kirill. Kirill will be our guide for this trip. To be more precise, he's not just a guide, but a conductor or a stalker, because this journey is exceptionally complex and difficult. Kirill is the author of a book about the Chernobyl zone, a professional guide, and also one of the founders of a museum here in Kyiv. Let's go meet Kirill, discuss the details of our journey, and then head towards the Chernobyl zone. Let's go have a look. There's some kind of military heavy truck parked over there. Hello, Kirill. I'm Sharunas.
Yes, hello.
We're already here, in the yard by your building.
Okay, you'll see us in a moment. You haven't seen me in photos. I'll be with a girl with red hair.
Okay, we're here in the yard, near the playground, where kids are chasing pigeons.
Yes, that's right. I'll be there shortly.
Looks like we finally met Kirill. Kirill and his red-haired girlfriend are walking towards us. They're dressed in camouflage uniforms, clearly taking this trip seriously. Hello, Kirill, Sharunas.
I'm Gytis.
And Kirill.
And I'm Veronica.
The filming starts right away. We've discussed the plan. We've decided to drive by car almost all the way to the zone. We'll leave the car with Kirill's friend, who will look after it, and then, as darkness falls, we'll try to cross the perimeter. Today's goal is to cross the river. We really hope the bridge won't be guarded by the militia, so we won't have to swim. If everything goes well, we should reach the legendary Dugatur radar today. It's a massive radar system. We'll spend the night there, and at dawn we'll climb the antenna to survey the territory, film the city of Pripyat, and then continue our journey towards the center of the zone. Along the way, we've encountered an unforeseen obstacle. There are wildfires raging in the Chernobyl zone, and the road we were supposed to take to the village where we could leave our car is closed. There's a police roadblock. Now we're trying to figure out what to do next. Are heading to a town called Dytiatki, where we will leave the car. From there, we will continue on foot.
Unprecedented audacity on the part of law enforcement agencies, probably because of wildfire. The route to Zeleny Mines and a number of other populated areas like Guba, Zarino, and Hornostoipil was closed, likely due to the fires. They let shuttle buses through, but they turned us back. So now we are heading to another village where we'll try to leave the car with an acquaintance of my friend.
As you understood, Kirill said the same thing I just did. We're now driving to another village where hopefully there won't be a police cordon and they'll let us through. We'll be able to leave the car there, but it's not as safe because Kirill doesn't have any friends in that village. We've arrived at the village, changed our clothes, and prepared for the hike. We'll leave the car here for a week and continue our journey on foot. In that direction, beyond the woods, about 2 or 3 kilometers away, is the zone. For now, a police car is driving around the village. Most likely someone saw us and called them. so we are forced to wait for a bit. We're just hiding behind a haystack until the coast is clear. We managed to slip out of the village. Now we are on something that resembles a path. And we'll try to approach the barbed wire fence where we will cross the perimeter and enter the territory of the zone. I can only film for very short periods so that I'm not spotted, so just a few seconds and I'm turning the camera off. We've reached the barbed wire fence. Here it is. Now we'll look for a suitable place to cross to the other side. Gytis went to scout ahead. It seems like there's nothing on the other side. I'm going back to the group now. We stopped for a minute to rest. Kirill is calling the other group members, who are supposed to join us a bit later. The question was whether we should cross the bridge or wade through the river. We've decided to go through a ford. The bridge is too dangerous because traffic has intensified significantly due to the fires. Cars pass by frequently, so it's risky for us to cross the bridge. We'll look for a ford and wade across the river shortly. We just need to wait for the rest of the group members who traveled separately to avoid arousing suspicion. Well, here they are. Our stragglers have finally arrived. They will join our team and we will try to storm the river. Kirill's very angry with them because we've been waiting here for 2 hours in the middle of the forest.
Hi, I'm Vlad.
And I'm Nikolai.
Nice to meet you.
Well, sorry that we had to wait for 2 hours.
Yes, the GPS loaded a completely wrong map.
We successfully crossed the perimeter fence. We walked for a bit along a patrol road, and now we've moved deeper into the forest to rest for a minute and catch our breath. Tell us, what awaits us ahead?
Now, we will go about 10 or 11 kilometers in very difficult terrain. So after we get through the forest, we'll cross the main road to Chernobyl, and from there it's about another 100 meters.
Will we cross huge river?
After 10, 11 kilometers, when we pass the forest, it'll be about 200 meters to the river for now. We won't walk on the road itself. We'll come out near the village of Stara Rudnia, where I hope we'll safely find the ford and cross to the opposite side of the river.
So it turns out we have not 2 kilometers to go, but 10 until we can cross the river. Then we'll continue our journey along the high voltage power line.
Reason part, this fragment before the Ush River is what Stalkers call the pre-zone. So this isn't even considered the zone. The real big zone starts after the river.
So it turns out this area we're in now, in the understanding of Stalkers, isn't even the zone yet. The zone will begin once we cross the river, which is another 10 kilometers from here.
We have a stalker from the LNR, Luhansk People's Republic.
Where is your ribbon?
He doesn't have the Colorado ribbon.
Ah, thanks God, okay. Coming up next. We have a weak link in our group who is constantly falling behind. One of our group members can no longer continue the journey. We have finally reached the Uj River. Now we need to find a place where we can wade to the other side. Scout of the past. We are now going through the... We have about 8 kilometers left to go. It's safe here in the woods. The nearest settlement is about 15 kilometers away, and the nearest road is roughly 6 kilometers away. And the nearest road is roughly 6 kilometers away. This means we have some time to talk loudly and use our flashlights to look around and scare away any animals. When we reach the Uj River, that will be our second major obstacle. We'll have to cross it. We'll look for a shallow place to wade through, and if we can't find one, we'll pack our backpacks into waterproof bags, seal them, and swim across. I hope we can do it successfully. After crossing the river, we'll face our third challenge, crossing the main main highway that leads from the perimeter to the power plant. Once that's done, we can relax a bit, as our plan for the night will be complete. We will then stay overnight in one of the abandoned villages. I think the group will split into two, with 3 people in each, because it's dangerous to move in a large group deep in the zone. A big group makes a lot of noise and can attract the attention of the authorities. One of our group members is falling behind significantly. We've already had to stop for the 4th time to wait for him. It's unclear what to do. The group will likely discuss leaving him here in the forest and continuing without him, as he's becoming a major hindrance. Gytis, how are you feeling?
Thanks, I'm good.
Tell us about it.
It's a little bit hot even though it's nighttime. The temperature is probably at least 28 degrees. We're glad we still have plenty of water.
How do you feel after getting past the fence?
So far, everything is calm.
There was a bit of stress though. I remember accidentally turning on my flashlight. Everyone started yelling, "Turn it off, turn it off."
Yes, since there are a lot of police patrols, you don't want to draw attention to yourself. Every unnecessary flashlight beam is risky, especially since we're still close to the border of the zone. The good thing about walking is that the mosquitoes aren't biting.
That's right, that's the plus. The moment we stop, they immediately start swarming. How far have we walked from the fence?
Or about 5 kilometers, maybe a little less, 4,800 meters or so.
We walked almost 5 kilometers since crossing the perimeter fence. There are another 5 kilometers to the river. And to the village where we'll stay for the night.
It's about another 7 kilometers.
So we've covered about half of today's route.
Yes, another village might be even closer. If things get bad, we can stop at the village sooner. It's in a remote appendix, but the police do check it from time to time, so we need to be vigilant.
We might split the group into 2 parts and sleep in different places.
When a large group stays in one house, it creates a lot of noise.
Right now we're moving like a herd of wild boars, making a lot of noise.
But there's not much to fear in this forest. Besides the occasional foresters, there's no one around, so we can relax a bit. We'll see what happens further on.
I'm not using the headlamp because there's enough light. We have walked about 12 kilometers. The road is about 1.5 kilometers away. After that, we'll walk a couple more kilometers through the forest, and then we'll reach the river. A dilemma has arisen among our expedition members. There is a debate and a question about where we will sleep. It looks like we will reach our overnight spot around 10 or 12 o'clock in the morning, and we will need to find a place to sleep. One option is an abandoned village about 5 kilometers from our main route. This means we'll have to make a detour. After sleeping, we will have to return to our path. Another option is to sleep in the forest. Perhaps that's not a bad idea, but it will be very hot in the forest. Yesterday it was 34 degrees, and I think it will be just as hot today. So we won't be able to sleep in that heat. Finding a brick house and going into its basement would be much cooler. We approached the side of the road and stopped for a minute to listen for any approaching cars. It seems to be clear. Kirill gave the signal, and we are crossing the road. We need to be very quiet and careful, as it is already getting light. The forest here is quite sparse, so we could be easily spotted. High voltage wires are overhead, and a buzzing sound can be heard. This is the electricity coming from the Chernobyl nuclear power plant. The road seems empty. We need to try not to fall behind. We have a weak member in our group who is constantly lagging. Now he has put the whole group in great danger because he is falling behind and not hurrying to cross the road. One of our group members can no longer continue the hike because he is simply exhausted. His leg hurts from a previous injury. Now they are discussing what to do and how to get to the road. He has decided to go to the road, wait for the police to arrive, and be taken to the station. We've stopped for a moment to rest under the high voltage power line, which is 750 kilovolts. I've never been under a power line like this before. You can hear a crackling sound even in dry weather. Kirill says that when it rains and the air is humid, the wires even glow. This whole line lights up. You can feel a slight tingling sensation on your skin from the electrical energy. Kirill told a story about how some guys from Pripyat brought fluorescent lamps here, and the lamps lit up under the power line, allowing them to light their way. The colleague has decided to go to the main road and wait for a police patrol to arrest him and take him to the nearest police station in Kyiv. He is giving us all his food, as he won't need it, but we might on the rest of our journey. So, the man lasted only 1 day, while the rest of the group has 6 more days to go. Now I'll ask the man himself to tell us what happened.
I have an old injury from training, and my leg is not used to this kind of strain. To avoid holding the guys back, I made the decision to let them go ahead at their own pace, and for me to return home. That means surrendering to the police.
Well, goodbye then. Good luck to you. We say our goodbyes. Now we continue our journey. We'll walk a bit under these high voltage lines because the forest here has been cleared, making it easier to walk. Kirill is already signaling for us to go deeper into the forest. We will try to cross the second branch of the main road, and then the river awaits us. Unexpectedly, we came across Forestier's observation tower, which is completely rotten and barely standing. It should collapse soon. The Chernobyl zone is full of various anomalies. These pine trees have a very interesting shape. I've fallen a bit behind the group and need to hurry to catch up so I don't end up on the highway trying to flag down a police car. We've reached another power line. The voltage here is much lower. You can't hear the characteristic buzzing of high voltage lines. A sign on the pole reads, ČEZ, Chernobyl Nuclear Power Plant. I measured the radiation background here. It's 0.26 microsieverts per hour. For now, that's about 2.5 times the normal level, but we haven't reached the areas of the zone where radiation is particularly high. I also found someone's abandoned gas mask. I'll measure the radiation level on it. The radiation background of this gas mask is 0.29 microsieverts per hour, which is about 3 times the normal level. It's possible this gas mask is from the power plant's access area. We have arrived at the cemetery of the village of Rudnia Veresnia. This village is a crossroads for many stalker paths, so it's a favorite spot for the local police, making it unsafe for us to be here. I'll measure the radiation background again because with every kilometer closer to the Chernobyl nuclear power plant, the radiation level increases. It's 0.4 microsieverts, 4 times the normal level. Well, let's continue our journey. In its heyday, around 1900, Rudnia Veresnia had its own blacksmith shop and a population of 319 people. At the time of the 1986 accident, 194 people lived in the village. Due to heavy radioactive contamination, the residents were urgently evacuated. The stoves in all the houses were destroyed, and in some places, the floors were torn up. To prevent people from returning, we left the village, crossed the main asphalt street, and now Kirill is trying to find the nearest power line that will lead us directly to a crossing point on the Už River. I'm already feeling a bit tired. It's about 6 in the morning, and we started our hike at 10 last night. A sleepless night is taking its toll. Finally, we reached the Už River. Now we need to find a place where we can wade across to the other side. This is our second obstacle of the day, and it might be difficult to overcome. There's also the danger that while we're crossing, police patrolling nearby might see us, which would mean the end of our trip with an arrest. We're heading a few hundred meters down the river to a spot Kirill knows, which is marked on the navigation as a suitable place to cross. After we cross, we'll wash up a bit in the river before sleeping and refill our water supplies as we're running out. We each have a 1.5-liter bottle of water, which has to last until the next refill. We've walked about 12, maybe 14 kilometers into the zone. We'll refill our water, and the next refill point will be near the Duga radar system, which is about 16 kilometers away. After crossing the river, we'll look for a place to rest, set up camp, and sleep for a few hours. Kirill is crossing first to check the depth of the river. We'll see if we can wade across. Veronika crossed first, and I'm second. I'm holding my boots in my hand with my backpack on. I've reached the middle of the river. On one side, on the other, you can see the rising sun. I've almost crossed the whole river. It took about a minute and a half. A hike is a hike, but I'm not a savage. You have to maintain some order. A mirror from a compass will do. You can buy a compass at the army and civilian store. I've prepared my food. Here's my vermicelli. The sun is already up. It must be around 10 in the morning. I'll eat, drink, and filter some water from the river. I'll move my sleeping mat into the shade and sleep for about 4 hours, or until the heat wakes me up. Another dip in the river to cool off, and then we'll continue our journey to the Duga 2 radar system. I've moved my sleeping mat a bit further from the water, into the shade under the trees. The trees will protect me from the sun's heat, and the river will cool the air a bit. It's cooler by the water. There don't seem to be any mosquitoes here. I think this is a very suitable place for sleeping. It's now 10 in the morning. I've been on the hike for exactly 12 hours. So far, everything is going well, more or less according to plan. We might be a little behind schedule, but there are no major deviations. Good night. And if you enjoyed this video, leave a comment, click subscribe, and be the first to see our latest journeys. And of course, don't forget to support Ukraine. In the next episode, we've come to a road that is one of the busiest in the entire zone. Behind me is one of the greatest technological marvels of the former Soviet Union and one of its biggest secrets. Scout of the past.